1. Even at the close of the day, the sun was enough to make the ride home from work totally perfect. He took the scenic route, settled onto the seat of the Harley he'd splurged on the summer before at Ben's urging. Best impulse buy ever. The joy of it was enough to bring him the long way home, down surface streets, a bit south, and then back north again. He leaned back, the weight of his body balanced just so. The warmth on his thighs, against his back, eased him away from work and into leisure. The light of the often absent sun after the darkness of winter gave him an easy mood, happy, satisfied. The thrum of the engine vibrated, humming into his bones. Late spring in Seattle, and people began to emerge from their squall jackets and endless layers. The city came alive with color as flowers burst from ground that had been barren for months. The trees exploded with leaves and blossoms. Other than early autumn, this was his favorite time of the year. He loved the glimpses of feminine skin as women started going bare-legged again when they wore skirts, loved the emergence of cleavage. He liked winter for all the vibrant, tight sweaters, but in spring and summer, women went softer, showed skin, wore dresses and floated around in his vision. All these things made every day a fine day in his life. He'd go home, drink a few beers, and sit on his back deck to watch the sunset. Maybe he'd even order a pizza if he could be bothered to get up and deal with the front door. Having made his mind up, he stopped in at the grocery store to pick up some hard lemonade for his sister Erin in case she showed up. Knowing his siblings, he expected one or both to roll in and demand food, so he liked to have the things they enjoyed on hand. The slow ride down his street enabled him to catch all the activity on that early evening. People did yard work and washed cars and boats. He hoped they were all using that special soap to do their washing, or Mrs. Cardini, accompanied by her dog, would storm over and yell at them for being irresponsible with the environment. The woman was in her 90s, and she ruled the entire block. Both sides. She and her dog, one of the ugliest things he'd ever seen and always decked out in some special dog outfit, would make their way up one side of the street and down the other, her doling out advice and lectures as she saw fit. He grinned when he pulled into the driveway and keyed the bike off, only to hear her lecturing his immediate neighbor to the right about the shabby state of his trash cans. Grabbing the groceries from his side bag, he waved quickly and headed to his door before she got to him. God knew he had to be responsible for some kind of violation or other. Once inside, he kicked off his boots, hung up his jacket, put the groceries away, and turned the stereo on. It was fully time to get his leisure on, and his deck and the sunset beckoned. He cracked open a beer and shuffled out toward his favorite spot to unwind. Brody arched his back, stretching himself as he reclined in the big, comfy Adirondack chair. He'd had a lot of clients that day in his tattoo shop, and he was getting old enough and been tattooing long enough that his body reminded him at the end of each day. The sky burned soft and bright in shades of blue, purple, and bright, nearly neon orange as the sun set. He relaxed into his chair and tipped his bottle back, letting the cold beer ease his day and his back strain. His eyes drifted closed as he simply let the twilight settle in. "Thought we'd find you back here." Raven, a friend who used to be more way back when. While there'd been times on and off since they'd ended up in bed during her visits, they'd kept their relationship to just friends. Despite her quirks, she'd become a part of his extended family. He knew her in ways she'd never allow others. He wished she would soften a bit, let someone in.